So, how are we kicking off today's show? How about, believe it or not, with a Friday Night Football recap? Yes, it may be hard to believe, but last night, the high school football season began. I'm not talking about scrimmages, I'm talking about games that actually count in the standings. Two of our local teams had their season openers last night. Chino Valley traveled down to Fountain Hills, and that was a pretty challenging number one game of the year for the Cougars, as they, according to Coach Michael Gilpin, they hadn't beaten the Falcons since the Clinton administration. But no better way to kick off the season than by getting that monkey off their backs. Johnny Parrish dashing into the end zone late in the fourth quarter to give Chino the 20-14 victory and a 1-0 start to the 2022 season. Also, good debut at starting quarterback by Ben Seibel. He chucked 2 touchdown passes. One of them went to Ashton Lofton, the other to Brody Ryan. Joey Nicely, he came up with a big interception with 1 minute left in regulation to ice the game. Then Jeremiah Duplechian, I hope I'm pronouncing that name right, he came up with a couple of sacks on defense. In fact, Coach Gilpin said that defense was playing lights out last night. So congrats to the Cougars for a great opening night victory. And, well, they've got another challenge ahead of them next week. They're on the road. Once again, they'll be taking on their longtime nemesis, Wickenburg. Actually, 3 of Chino Valley's first 4 games of the season will be road games. But while the Cougars had a great start to their season, unfortunately, they had a pretty rough start to their season. Thunderstorms were going through Mare last night. In fact, that game actually got delayed because of lightning. And again, Mare just a really rough one last night. 56-6. They fell to Cicero Prep. Ouch on that one, man. Well, best of luck to the Wildcats next week. They are going to be home. It'll be an intra-county battle. They have Baghdad to play. We also had another season opener yesterday, the other kind of football, what of course we call soccer here. First action of the season for the Embry-Riddle men's soccer team. They were in Alabama taking on Thomas University, coming away with a 1-1 draw. Cameron Kovacs, he got the lone Eagles goal in that one. Riddle, they are back in action today. They take on last year's NAIA national runner-up, University of Mobile. Then the Eagles have their home opener next Saturday. They will be playing Ottawa University. Also on the pitch yesterday, the defending state champion Chino Valley girls soccer team, they took part in the Rim Country Shootout in Payson, got a couple of shutout wins, 6-0 over St. John's, 4-0 over Snowflake. From what I understand, that Snowflake game, that was actually a shortened game due to the miserable weather they had up there in Payson. Anyway, Lady Cougars, they are back at it today at the Rim Country Shootout, already off to a 3-0 start. They won their season opener against Sedona a couple days ago, so already Chino Valley girls soccer, they are looking like champions. Also, speaking of champions, actually, got to send out a big congratulations to the Northern Arizona Wranglers, the 2022 Indoor Football League champions. They had one heck of a nail-biter title game last Saturday versus the Quad City Steamwheelers. Got the win 47-45. And how about this interesting little factoid? The Western Conference Championship game versus the Arizona Rattlers and the IFL Championship game, both decided by a combined 3 points. That's some really exciting football there, or nerve-wracking football, I guess, depending on what your point of view is. Anyway, one really cool thing about the Wranglers Championship is that we had some local flavor to go along with that, because Bradshaw Mountain alum and former Yavapai College soccer player Brandon Fisher, he was the team's kicker, unfortunately had to miss the last few games of the season due to a knee injury. And also former Bradshaw Mountain football coach David Moran was the team's team's director of player personnel, and also one of their assistant coaches, both of them playing key roles in bringing that league championship to the Tri-City area, picked not because the Wranglers had some sort of mandate where they had to have a certain number of local people on the team, picked because those two were considered the best for the job, and now they got the ring to prove it. And speaking of the best at their job, we've got another top 10 list today. In fact, today is the final top 10 list of the summer. We wrap it all up with the top 10 local male athletes of the year. Man, oh man, so many great candidates to choose from. Quite a few deserving guys, unfortunately, got left off the list because, of course, we don't have enough room for everyone. And then again, that's kind of the case with all of these top 10 lists we bring you every summer here on the Tri-City Sports Roundup, here on the news, 1490 AM, 103.5 FM, online at kyca.info, and of course, live streamed on the KYCA Facebook page. And be sure to like and follow our KYCA Facebook page. Also, be sure to smash the like button, leave a comment about this show, and of course, do the same for Dr. Hancock's show, Healthline, coming up after this show. But anyway, the ones who did make this year's top 10 list, man, oh man, it is a very impressive collection of local talent. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get started with our final top 10 list of the summer, the top 10 local male athletes of the year. And of course, we start out with number 10. There was no off season for this guy. He was a 3-sport athlete for his school, starting in the fall with football, where he got it done on both sides of the ball. Offensively, he posted 396 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. Excuse me. While on defense, he recorded 71 tackles, 5 sacks, and a fumble recovery. That got him named to the All-West Region second team. In the winter, it was time to hit the mat. Wrestling at 190 pounds, he went 37-12 and was the section runner-up in his weight class. In the spring, it was on to the diamond with the baseball team. He batted .293 with 8 RBIs and made the All-North Central Region second team. Now with his successful high school career over, he's looking forward to a successful collegiate career with the Lewis and Clark State College football team. Congratulations to Dakota McMains of the Chino Valley football team and the Chino Valley wrestling team and Chino Valley baseball teams, the Tri-City Sports Roundup number 10 local male athlete of the year. Next up, we have number 9. He was one of the stalwarts on defense and helped his football team have one of its most successful seasons in a long time. In 2021, he registered 67 tackles, 5.5 sacks, 2 fumble recoveries, and an interception. All that landed him on the All Grand Canyon Region first team, but he wasn't done being a key contributor after the football season. He headed to the wrestling mat, and match after match, he racked up the wins at 215 pounds. Come the postseason, he made his mark in one of the toughest weight classes in the state. He finished as the section runner-up at 215 pounds. Then at the state meet, he finished 3rd in his weight class. It was one heck of a season for him, both on the gridiron and the mat. And we can't wait to see what kind of success he'll have in his senior season. Congratulations to Landon Francis of the Prescott football and wrestling teams, the Tri-City Sports Roundup number 9 local male athlete of the year. Before we go to break, we're going to get in number 8. This was a team that racked up a whole lot of goals. And this guy was the one who led the way for them on offense. Led the way for him big time, I should say. All throughout the season, he put in one goal after another, and when the dust cleared at the end of the season, he notched 42 goals. And for good measure, he chipped in 10 assists. That gave him 94 points for the season. Thanks to his skills at scoring, his team won the state title, and along with that championship ring, he earned a spot on the All-Central Region first team and the All-2A Conference first team. Now, that's one heck of a way to cap off your high school career. Congratulations to Richard Flores of the Chino Valley soccer team, the Tri-City Sports Roundup number 8 local male athlete of the year. Well, folks, we are just getting started with our final top 10 list of the year here on the Tri-City Sports Roundup. Top 10 local male athletes of the year. Who else makes this impressive all-star list? Well, we'll tell you on the other side of this break. We'll be back right after this. And we are back here on the Tri-City Sports Roundup. John Rust with you here. Our final top 10 list of 2022. It is the top 10 local male athletes of the year. And let's not waste any more time. Let's just keep moving forward with this list. We're at number 7. While basketball may not be his primary sport, he was pretty good at it. In fact, he was his team's leading scorer this past season and was so impressive, he was named to the All-North Central Region First Team. Then came baseball season, and that's where he really lit it up. On the mound, he went 5-0 with a 1.17 ERA. That was the best in the region and the 4th best in the entire 3A conference. Also, 62 strikeouts and 15 walks in 36 innings of work. He also swung the bat well, hitting .471 with 2 home runs, 18 RBIs, 9 doubles, 3 triples, 14 runs scored, an .882 slugging percentage, and a .542 on-base percentage. All those stats got him named the Co-North Central Region Player of the Year and also landed him on the All 3A Conference First Team. He originally signed with Yavapai College, but will now be playing for a college in Iowa, and we expect him to do just as well up there. Congratulations to Riley Roscoff of the Chino Valley basketball and baseball teams, the Tri-City Sports Roundup number 7 local male athlete of the year. So boy, oh boy, both the Roscoff siblings making it onto our top 10 list for this year. Of course, his sister Caitlin Roscoff, she was our number 2 local female athlete of the year last week. Number 6 on our list. You can call this guy a one-man hit parade. Heck, he came close to winning the Triple Crown in the ACCAC. He led the conference in both batting average at .405 and home runs with 18. His 68 RBIs were the 3rd most in the conference. In addition, he had 13 doubles, 43 runs scored, 8 stolen bases, a .449 on-base percentage, and a conference best .762 slugging percentage. What did all that get him? How about the Conference Player of the Year award, along with a pair of All-American First-Team selections, one from the NJCAA and the other from the American Baseball Coaches Association. Even when the JUCO season was done, he kept raking way up north in Summer League ball for the Alaska Gold Panners. No doubt he'll keep raking in the college ranks next season. Congratulations to Sean Rimmer of the Yavapai College baseball team, the Tri-City Sports Roundup number 6 local male athlete of the year. On to number 5. Put him on offense, he was a stud. Put him on defense, he was a stud there too. He led the scoring charge for his team with 1,394 rushing yards, the 2nd most in the Grand Canyon region, and 17 touchdowns. But you could argue he was even better on defense. He led the region with 140 tackles, which is also the 3rd most in the 4A conference. He also had 2.5 sacks and a fumble recovery. Along with helping his team reach the Elite 8 of state, he was named the Region Player of the Year and also earned spots on the Prep Zone All Northern Arizona First Team Offense and the All 4A Conference Second Team. This dreadnought with legs will be back for one more season with his team, and boy, oh boy, fans can't wait to see him put up more huge stats. Congratulations to Cody Leopold of the Prescott football team, the Tri-City Sports Roundup number 5 local male athlete of the year. We're at number 4. He put on a show every time he stepped on the court. No defense could contain him as he finished the season with a whopping 26.5 points per game, which led the Grand Canyon region and put him 2nd in the entire 4A conference. But he had way more skills than just putting the ball through the hoop. He grabbed 241 rebounds to lead the region and put him 5th in the conference. He was also tops in both the region and the conference in steals with 93. For good measure, throw in 107 assists and 24 blocks. Not much of a surprise, he was voted the Region Player of the Year and earned a spot on the All 4A Conference First Team. He had one remarkable career for his high school, and now he's looking forward to excel in the collegiate ranks with NAU. Congratulations to Jason Parent of the Prescott basketball team, Tri-City Sports Roundup, number 4 local male athlete of the year. And let's go to the phones right now, and we are going to talk to the coach. Well, now I guess it's former coach of Jason Parent, and that is Travis Stedman. He is the head coach of the Prescott basketball team. Hey, Coach, good morning, and thank you for joining us. I am doing all right, and well, Coach, Jason Parent, our number 4 local male athlete of the year. And I mean, no surprise that Jason had a spot on this list. I mean, what an incredible performance. And yeah, I don't recall any Prescott basketball player, at least in the time I've been here, who's racked up 26.5 points per game in a season. But that's what Jason did this year. What athletic prowess? In fact, well, that's of course one of the things you heard me say on my read through here, and I think one of the things that a lot of fans really don't realize about Jason, because I think a lot of people just look at the insane amount of points this guy had game after game after game. But when you look at what this guy did on defense, I mean, you know, when the ball wasn't in Prescott's possession, he was still making all kinds of contributions for you out there. I mean, 8.6 rebounds per game, leading the region and the conference in steals with 93. To me, that just goes to show you just what a complete player this guy is, and the kind of player who, when the ball isn't in his hands, he just turns invisible. No, when the ball isn't in his hands, he's going to do other things to help your team. Mm-hmm. And I mean, along with being a tremendous player, just also a tremendous human being. I mean, there are times when you kind of don't get that star athlete and good person as a combination, but I know in my 4 years being around Jason, that is certainly not the case with him. I have had nothing but pleasant experiences with Jason all his 4 years at Prescott High School. Mm. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Travis Stedman, head coach of the Prescott basketball team, I want to thank you very much for joining us here on the Tri-City Sports Roundup, giving us a little more insight into Jason Parent, our Tri-City Sports Roundup number 4 local male athlete of the year. Travis, thank you for your time here. You have yourself a good one, man. All right. Again, Travis Stedman, head coach of the Prescott boys basketball team. All right, time to get back to our list. We're at number 3, and sometimes defenders in soccer just don't get the love. Well, that's not the case with this guy. He anchored a defense that allowed only 6 goals the entire season. Again, let me repeat that. Allowed 6 goals the entire season. They say defense wins championships, and he proved that with his incredible work in the backfield. But he was also not invisible on offense, as he posted 7 goals and 4 assists for the season. Along with helping his squad win a state championship, the other coaches around the state showed their respect for his ability by not only naming him the Co-Central Region Player of the Year, but the overall 2A Conference Player of the Year. After a fantastic high school career, he's bringing his defensive prowess to Yavapai College. Congratulations to Ravi Holiday of the Chino Valley soccer team, the Tri-City Sports Roundup number 3 local male athlete of the year. And folks, it's back to the phones. We're going to line 2. We're going to be talking with Chino Valley boys soccer coach Todd Carey. He has 2 of his guys on our list for this year. Hey, Coach, good morning, and thanks for joining us. So let's first talk about the guy I just talked about, and that's Ravi Holiday. And kind of like what I said here, sometimes defenders don't get the love, especially when it comes to those overall Player of the Year awards, because, of course, in soccer, well, goals are sexy, whereas defenders, they may be kind of, in some ways, maybe out of sight, out of mind. But what does it say about the talent that Ravi Holiday has, where, of course, he didn't get a whole lot of goals, didn't do a lot on offense, but just where his defense stood out so much that everyone decided he's going to be our region and conference player of the year? Mm-hmm. And then, of course, well, speaking of goals, we got to talk about Richard Flores, because he was one of your top goal scorers this season. 42 goals, and our number 8 Tri-City Sports Roundup local male athlete of the year. What was it about Flores that made him so dangerous when he was in front of the net? Okay. Well, Coach Carey, I want to thank you very much for joining us here on the Tri-City Sports Roundup, talking about a couple of your guys. Ravi Holiday, our number 3 local male athlete of the year. Richard Flores, our number 8 male athlete of the year. Great job by those guys last year. And, of course, Coach, we're looking forward to seeing you guys get going next week and defend your state championship. So best of luck to you and the Cougars this season. All right. Again, Todd Carey, head coach of the Chino Valley boys soccer team. Let's get back to our top 10 list, folks. We're at number 2. After a pretty successful stint at University of the Cumberlands, he decided it was time for a change of scenery. That led him to Prescott, and boy, oh boy, did he give his new team a boost on the mat. He plowed through the competition during the regular season and looked just unstoppable in the postseason. He became the Cascade Collegiate Conference champion at 133 pounds and had an amazing run through the NAIA National Tournament. He made it to the championship round, but unfortunately couldn't get that top spot on the podium and ended up as the runner-up. Still, a 26-7 overall record, national runner-up, All-American honors. Hey, that's nothing to sneeze at. In fact, that was one heck of a season for this young man. Congratulations to Jacob Seto of the Embry-Riddle Wrestling Team, the Tri-City Sports Roundup number 2 local male athlete of the year. So, folks, guess what that leaves us with? Number 1. Who makes the list this year? Who grabs our top spot? Who is the number 1 Tri-City Sports Roundup local male athlete of the year? Well, I'm not going to tell you right now because we got to go to break. But when we come back, we will give you our number 1 pick for the 2021-2022 season. We'll be back right after this. Hey folks, welcome back to the Tri-City Sports Roundup. John Rust with you here, and well, today is our top 10 local male athletes of the year. Before we get to number 1, let's go through numbers 10 through 2. Number 10 is Dakota McMains, Chino Valley Football, Wrestling, and Baseball. Number 9, Landon Francis of Prescott Football and Wrestling. Number 8, Richard Flores of Chino Valley Soccer. Number 7, Riley Roscoff, Chino Valley Basketball and Baseball. Number 6, Sean Rimmer with Yavapai College Baseball. Number 5, Cody Leopold with Prescott Football. Number 4, Jason Parent with Prescott Basketball. Number 3, Ravi Holiday from Chino Valley Soccer. Number 2, Jacob Seto of Embry-Riddle Wrestling. And now, number 1. He put fear into opposing offenses on the gridiron. His 124 tackles were the 4th most in the Grand Canyon region and the 6th most in the entire 4A conference. Add to that 2 fumble recoveries and a sack, and that made him the region defensive player of the year. But football wasn't the only thing he did well. When the winter season rolled around, you could find him on the mat just tearing through everyone who got his way. He took home the section championship, then went to the state tournament and won the whole bloody thing, coming away as the state champion at 215 pounds and finishing with a 29-1 record. It was a memorable season for this young man, and he's ready to make some new memories for the Lake Forest College football team. Congratulations to Michael Kelly of the Bradshaw Mountain football team and wrestling team, the Tri-City Sports Roundup 2021-2022 #1 local male athlete of the year. And now let's go to line 3. Let's go to the phones here, and we're going to be talking to Bud Nolet. He is the head coach of the Bradshaw Mountain wrestling team. Hey, Coach, good morning, and thanks for joining us. So, Coach, man, oh man, Michael Kelly, what a season this guy had. Of course, great football season, but what a season he had on the mat. So just tell us, what was it about Michael where he was just an incredibly talented wrestler and brought home that state championship for you? Mm-hmm. And to go from the football season, you go to the wrestling mat. Kind of going into this season, just talk about what Michael's goals were, how he achieved them this year. Mm-hmm. Actually, it's funny because you say how wrestling made him a better football player, and I kind of always go back to John Trout, who was an absolute stud at wrestling and football over at Bradshaw Mountain High School. And those Prescott Bradshaw games that I called, whenever I saw John make a tackle, I could always tell that, hey, look at that form he's using. He must have learned that in the wrestling room, and I'm sure it was the same thing with Michael Kelly as well. Mm-hmm. Okay. And, speaking of wrestling, you look at the top 10 list I put together this year. We had 3 wrestlers on this list. Of course, right behind Michael Kelly, we had Jacob Seto from Embry-Riddle Wrestling, the national runner-up in the NAIA at 133 pounds. And then, of course, a guy that, I know Michael's very familiar with. You're probably very familiar with, Landon Francis. He came in as our number 9 local male athlete of the year. And I guess that goes to show you what an incredible weight class 215 pounds was for not just the section, but also for the entire state, where you had Michael Kelly and Landon Francis make this list. And Landon, what a great season he had, coming in at number 3. And I can only imagine the kind of contest that Michael and Landon had this season. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, again, Michael's off to Lake Forest College now, so that's a big hole you got at 215 pounds. So, any idea who's going to fill that for you come the winter? And again, we were talking about the great connection that we have with football and wrestling. So, for yourself as a wrestling coach, what kind of pitch would you give to the football players out at Bradshaw Mountain? Actually, just high school football players anywhere. What kind of pitch would you give them to come out and join their school's wrestling teams? By the way, my mistake here. I said we had 3 wrestlers on our top 10 list this year, but oversight here on my part. I meant 4 wrestlers because, of course, we had Dakota McMains on the list as well. And there's a 3-sport athlete for you, and another guy who had a tremendous wrestling season and just had a very unfortunate injury just at the wrong point of the season going into the postseason. But still, I mean, Dakota, another great season for him, and another guy who did well at both wrestling and football in our area. Okay. Well, Coach Bud Nolan from Bradshaw Mountain Wrestling, I want to thank you very much for joining us here on the Tri-City Sports Roundup. And again, giving us a little more insight on our #1 local male athlete of the year for 2021-2022. That is Michael Kelly of Bradshaw Mountain Football and Wrestling. Coach, thank you very much for joining us here. You have yourself a great day. Well, folks, that wraps up our summer top 10 lists here, going over the season for 2021-2022. And well, now we are just getting started with the 2022 fall sports season. And in now less than 2 weeks, KYCA will be on the air with Prescott Badger football as they open up on September 2nd. We'll be bringing you live coverage of that game. Can't wait for that. And of course, Prescott coming off an 8-4 season last year, going all the way to the Elite Eight. They got a lot of great guys coming back for their team this year. And 2 of them actually on our list right here. We had Landon Francis, our #9 local male athlete of the year, and Cody Leopold, our #5 local male athlete of the year. So that's a pretty good core for Prescott to build around for this season. And again, folks, be sure to stick with KYCA. Stick with us on kyca.info, our website. Keep up with the latest news and sports from around the Tri-City area. And also like, share, follow, and subscribe across all of our social media. That is Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, and Instagram. And, of course, you can go to our YouTube page, and you can check out my podcast that we do here at KYCA, Rust Rants. I come on, I go off about anything. hacking me off in, well, either the sports world or in the pop culture world. In fact, my most recent Rust Rants, I did a little rant about She-Hulk and how I think that show is going to be garbage because, well, they have garbage writers writing it, and also a few other things in there, a few other stuff from the previous week in the sports world that I ranted about. You can check all that out on the KYCA Radio Facebook page or KYCA Radio YouTube page. Go back and watch past Rust Rants and enjoy those. Well, again, folks, that is it for our summer top 10 list, and now we are ready to dive into the fall 2022 sports season, and we will be bringing you coverage of all of our local teams at Prescott, Bradshaw Mountain, Chino Valley, Yavapai College, Embry-Riddle, and Mare High School. Should be a great season for a lot of teams out there. We look forward to bringing you that coverage. That's going to do it for our show here, folks. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you again next week.